What's up, brothers and sisters? Kunal here, Bulls on Wall Street. Hopefully you guys are all having a wonderful day. The market continues to grind higher. I was off today. I was at the All-Star Charts Conference in New Orleans. It was awesome. Had a very good time and learned a lot of things. So I'm back in action tomorrow. I apologize for not being at the trading turrets, but holy crap. Let's get into what's happening in the stock market and then what the game plan is for tomorrow. So, look, we've been on a nice 7-8 day run here. And I would say there's two things happening. Market's probably a little bit tired here, but the dips are getting bought. And what I mean by that, and so the price action is just so good, right? So, you know, we had this kind of chop in the morning, and it kind of looked like, okay, maybe the market's going to, dump off a little bit finally, right? And maybe allow, some people to get repositioned here on the long side. And you just kind of kept testing down, and you couldn't break it, right? And then out of nowhere, the jets come on, right? It's just Algo City. You take out the range, and then boom, you're in it. Now, look, when the market gets really extended, you tend to have these kind of end-of-day, midday fugazis all the time. So the higher and higher you get on the market, like on the daily charts, like the higher you get, the more you'll start getting like these random dumps. So like every day you get up and you start to trigger like a 95 stochastics here. Every day you grind higher without a pullback or consolidation, that kind of midday, end of the day dump will just come out of the blue. Like everything will look really, really hot, and then you'll just see like, you'll just see like this kind of stuff, right? Because the market's overbought and people got itchy trigger fingers and, right, everybody wants to lock in profits. I mean, it doesn't take much to, make some money in like the market the last couple of weeks. You have like these stocks like, right, Roblox or something. You just like, it's a line drawers market, right? Where you just draw some squiggly lines and, and you're ripping them. And that happens like 3-4 months out of the year. You just got to really wait for them. And then when they happen, you really got to press your teeth in, right? Press your teeth in, because it ain't going to get much better than like what we've seen, right, in the last 2 to 6 weeks or whatever this is since the bottom. That's just like, this happens every year where you get the dump and then the ramp ups are really, really big. So just be mindful. We're in that kind of precarious spot where it's like the price action is really strong, but the higher you get closer to here, the more likely, right, without a significant, kind of retest at some point. I wouldn't say significant, right, but you back and fill some of this area. I think, you're going to have those kind of midday dumps. So just got to be mindful of that, and you're going to see it. But the price action is really strong. Like, how you know that is like, like something like this. Like I have this in our options group for a swing trade. And, in the morning, you can see here, like if you use like an hourly chart or something, right? In the morning, like you came back and like kind of broke back under the breakout spot, but you just came right into support here, right? You just came back into this bone zone and then just ramped it back, right? And so that's like that's the telltale sign of a strong market, right? When you just like retest, maybe even dip a little bit under, then you just ramp it, right? And that's the heat of the market here. And so be mindful not to overreact too much to like, 50, 60 cent dumps. There's bigger moves in the cards that are happening. But we could use that kind of just like that shakeout to get like everybody a little bit scared, right? So just kind of be mindful of that. Oh man, look at this. Beyond that, I would say, percentage of stocks up 75%, U.S. stocks up 50%, QQQ up 63%, right? Like you just got, you got all this stuff, right? The Russell, the SPY, the Qs, like everything is kind of creeping higher. You've got great market breadth right now, and that's all you can really ask for. Should we get a pullback? Sure. When it comes, you just never know. Let's take a look at the watch list. I think for day traders, you want to keep trading this RKLB probably till it gets to maybe closer to, I would say, 30 before it's going to run into some resistance. The liquidity on this is awesome. Great range. Even the options are trading. That's what we've got. The May 30th, 25 strike calls. They're doing okay. I think I got the alert was at maybe like 70, I guess about 70 cents, give or take. So they're doing okay. They're creeping. Most of the move, right, was made in this last candle, right? So it was doing okay, but we'll see like kind of what's going on this thing, right? Like, let's see where we start to really kind of creep a leak on this bad boy. But I think we can get up here, and we got to, we bought ourselves maybe like a week or so before it's decision time. Beyond that, look, if you like small caps, right, this MVST, I believe this is a battery company. This got a nice little chart on it too. All sorts of liquidity on this. Like this could have a little Friday bonanza. You got a trend line break right here. Not my particular thing. I don't trade small caps on Fridays, but it is a $1 billion company, so I wouldn't consider it like some micro float stock that some of the guys like to dive into. QUBT. Look, the other ones dumped off today, so do be mindful of that. I was up pretty good on this QBTS for a hot second today, and then I had to wheel it down. Like I had it on the little dip here, and it started to push, and I'm like, oh yeah, here we go, baby. Here we go, Big Daddy K. Just drawing lines and making money. And then it was like, abort, 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 and back down she goes. Like, what do you got to do, right? You got to just dump out of it when it breaks back under and see what happens. So who knows? Like, this has got the look, but the other ones failed. Groupon, this is more of a swing stock. You can see here this like nice consolidation. Post breakout, really nice base breakout over here, right? You get a multi view, run on this thing, and now you're kind of, right, smiling here. Choo, choo. All right, you kind of coming through this. So you got all this room out here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing at $50, because just the float's so low in this kind of market, but it's going to take some time. ODD, I did not see what the news was, and maybe it's a downgrade or something. It was sitting here, and it got dumped down here. But, like, it held into the bone zone. And in this kind of market, like, these actually have been getting bought up. So, like, if this is, like, holding this gap fill here, I think we can kind of push this thing back through. All these kind of, like, weird pullbacks that you think would be shorts have been getting bought up. We're seeing it every day. Spotify, this is your flat top breakout here, but I'd like to get in a little bit early. You got risk on your 20 EMA. Like, this could be a little something for the ladies. Looks pretty good for a flat top breakout. This go-go, it may need to back and fill just a little bit more, but like you can see here, like it's starting to kind of turn into a flag. I think it'll be a nice swing trade if you can kind of congeal just a tad, because you got this nice range break. It's about 1.5 years long, give or take. And this was on earnings. And so let this thing kind of congeal here. But you can see it's tightening up, and it's just kind of marinating a little bit. I like the overall look of it. It's hotter than a goose's caboose. Uber, I already got a position in this flag here. But, you got 2 inside days here on a day trade side of things. With, if the market's hot tomorrow, right? You got pet the snake right there. You're seeing that. Boop, 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 boop. Pet the snake, right? You got to come in. You got yourself a little pop. You got to pet the snake. Dude, the pet the snake, it's a short pattern, right? Because it's just like, but it's good for day trades. So you got kind of 2-day pet the snake, right? You got a little toot. And now you're going to get this thing going. You can only do the pet the snake in a really hot market because it's like such a short consolidation. If it's like an unhot, really little stinky market, then you need much better consolidations. But in this one, pet the snake could work. I'm digging this crowd, actually. This is for a swing trade. You were testing this 450 a little bit. I think you could go out maybe, a month or so, and let's, if you can get some liquidity in something over here, find out. I'll be watching tomorrow, see if there's like anything firing, like see this, like the 480s on the June 25th. Dude, they can get there in like a handful of days, At $17 ATR, you can get there in 3-4 days. So something like that where they got a little bit of liquidity, I'll keep an eye on. But I think that's this could rip tits at 450. So let's keep an eye on that one. And then this UNH, I was trading this in a conference today off the 250 bounce. Dude, this was, it had a decent little reversal. You got a hammer candle here. Anything over today's high that builds, I'm a buyer into this gap fill. Usually this kind of news is like kind of like the last gasp sell. You can tell today was like a climactic, right, selling on this. I like the overall look of it. Let's see what's going on. Anything over today's high, we can come in and do the Lord's work. So that's it for now, guys. Let me know if you need anything. I love you guys. Peace.